So let's talk about the blood in the car. We've got a description by the Wisconsin Crime Lab that on this carpet, they found flakes, and I'm talking about the carpet right in front of the driver's seat.
Unless you have a considerable amount of blood on a carpet, you're not going to necessarily see flakes or drying effect, because with 1 or 2 drops or 3 drops, it's going to absorb right into the carpet, and to see flaking like that visually would be probably not very likely.
What the state has represented to me is there were not blood stains, there were just flakes.
Right, which means that the flakes
are put
would have
there.
to come from a different source, whether it be from somewhere above. Although, looking at the transfer stain on the dashboard, I don't see any evidence of that flaking. You ready for the scraping episode?
Yeah. Oh, those are good size.
And this one?
Yep.
Let's try, this might be a little moist, but yeah, it's all
Yeah,
right.
it still broke up. Get that non-absorbent surface really. Great.
You got quite a few in there
Yeah,
now.
you got a bunch of them. We've made repeated efforts to talk to him, and we've told him the reason we want to talk to him is to rule him out. If he can give me plausible explanations for things, but he doesn't respond.
Zellner went up to Mr. Avery's prison and was able to bring in a key and have Mr. Avery hold a key, and that was timed for 12 minutes. So we can measure how much DNA we got from the same kind of key held for what we'd imagine is the same amount of time by the same person. The state got 0.17 nanograms per microliter. The amount of DNA that we recovered from the exemplar key is 1/10 or so of the amount of DNA that the Wisconsin lab obtained from their key. Not half, not 80%, but 1/10. Why did we recover so much less?
What about touch DNA, touching and opening it?
The amount of material you're going to get from handled objects is pretty low. If you do it multiple times, you'll get more. If you do it multiple times, you'll get more. If you do it multiple times, you'll get more.
Mr. Buting, I believe it was, had the imagination, let's call it, to suggest to you that maybe officers were taking a toothbrush and were kind of rubbing Mr. Avery's toothbrush on the key, and that's how the DNA got on the key. That becomes almost cartoonish. That becomes something that is not at all plausible.
Could you improve the item of evidence by rubbing it on a mouth swab, on a buccal swab, or with a toothbrush? And the answer is those would be great sources of DNA. In the forensic world, there's only 4 body fluids. We can test for blood, saliva, semen, or urine.
I requested in the motion for scientific testing that we be allowed to do source testing that was developed at Dr. Reich's laboratory. So we picked up the hood latch swab from the Attorney General, and then Dr. Reich did that testing at his laboratory.